Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the South Florida Gospel News. I am your faithful host. I'm going by Miss Deborah today. Okay. I'm glad you all are here. Oh, Lord, that was loud. We are talking today about Bald Headed Chronicles, and that being Miss Jada Pinkett Smith. I'm a member of the Bald Headed Club, so I feel I got a right to talk about this lady and how I so desperately want her to go sit down somewhere. So, Fair Use Act is claimed for all of the alleged information that I am about to share with you. And we're not going to delay. We are going to go ahead and get right into it. I do have a couple of announcements at the end of my comments about Miss Jada Pinkett Smith and her book. And then I'll go into the announcement that I have. So, Miss Jada Pinkett Smith, aka a member of the Bald Headed Club that I'm also in, has released I guess, a memoir, biography, whatever you want to call it, about her life. And in the book, she's telling a lot of personal information. So, a lot of people are in an uproar about this book and the information that she has shared in a interview in an interview with Hoda from the Today Show. And also, she's going to be live in the studio on the Today Show on Monday, October 16th. She'll be live in the studio. So basically, she's on a book tour, and some of her stops include New York, Baltimore, Miami, Memphis. I think she said Vegas and some other places where basically she's selling books. So the Red Table Talk show that she had on Facebook with her daughter and mother, Willow and Gammy, as they call her mom, Facebook canceled that show. Um, they went into a different direction with a lot of things, and they were making a lot of money through Facebook ads and whatnot. They had 10 million followers at the Red Table Talk Facebook page, and that went to YouTube. It also went to Instagram, Twitter. So they had quite the following, and with the ads that were being played during Red Table Talk, they were making a lot of money. And I do remember her saying that her husband, Will Smith, um, helped her put Red Table Talk together because she said, well, I want to do something. She wasn't doing any acting or anything. And she had this idea of doing her own talk show. And whether or not they wrote it up and pitched it to companies and the companies didn't accept, she was like, well, hey, I can do it on Facebook, pretty much costs nothing. You get some cameras, you make your own set and you film it and then you upload it to Facebook. And that's how that works. Did you want to come in and talk? No, you got to come in and say something. Our in studio guest is back. It's football Sunday. What's the word for the day, Chris?
The Miami Dolphins is winning, baby.
All right now. Well, thank you, Christopher, for stopping in. I would I'll say go Dolphins. And by the way, that's Christopher McCullen, not Hall. Okay. Anyway, some people call him Christopher Hall. My married name is not Hall. That's my pen name, but my legal last name is his the same as his. Where was I? Anyway, so they did the Red Table Talk. So anyway, Facebook canceled the Red Table Talk in June. All of a sudden, boom, there's no warning. Red Table Talk is over. So she says, well, let me figure out what else I'm gonna do. So maybe she had already started writing this memoir. I do not know. Um, but remember, Will Smith's book came out last year in December, as a matter of fact. Hasn't even been a year. He came out with his book and it did pretty good. And I think that was like um after his 50th birthday celebration when he did all of those things like skydiving and swimming with the dolphins and everything he wanted to do to celebrate his birthday. He came out with a memoir of his own. And after that he slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. And you know what I really think about the three of them? They must have been in an entanglement. That's her words. Because she let it out during her interview, and I guess it's in her book, that Chris Rock asked her out on a date. Now, mind you, Chris Rock and Will Smith were friends, you know, friends with the family and whatnot. So I guess maybe after Chris Rock found out that Will and Jada split, they say back in 2016, but I think it was much earlier than that. Um, you know, he got bold enough to say, I'm going to ask this lady out on a date, and Will had been his friend. So I don't think too many men would be cool with that, even if you have you know, you have a mutual friend and you split up and then you find out your friend is dating your spouse. Because mind you, they're still married, but I guess that's just on paper. You know, this is a Hollywood marriage. They are considered Hollywood royalty, and without Will Smith, we'd be saying Jada who? Now tell me I'm wrong. But anyway, you know, it struck a nerve with Will that uh, you know, there was some beef between them brewing up to the Oscar slap. There was some backstory things that happened, and you know, Chris Rock sitting there cracking jokes about Jada and probably like, how dare you talk about her? Man, you don't try to backdoor her and take my wife out on a date or whatever he was trying to do with her. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know these people personally, but I only know what my industry contacts have shared with me because I always ask, what's the backstory here? So basically, Jada was looking for something to do, and this is entertainment. This is all entertainment, and this is what intrigues us to buy books, buy tickets to shows, you know, buy Will's music. You know, after he slapped Chris Rock, people started playing Will Smith's music, him and DJ Jazzy Jeff. And I think that the relationship with let me go back. Let me go back to what I know what has been shared with me. Will and Jada been split up before 2016, right? So that was known in the industry. It just wasn't made public. They both were seeing other people. We just didn't know about it publicly. I knew because I know there were some people who do their public relations and how they put together this facade of, you know, anytime Will has an engagement to attend, you want to be known as the family man. You anytime, you know, like when Jada did the Matrix and here comes Will and the children, and when Will did uh oh Lord, the last movie he did was Emancipation. He's done a number of movies, and here comes Jada and the children, and all of them show up together. And then you know, they've been living separate lives in separate residences for a long time. And the song that comes to mind when I think about their relationship is "It's Cheaper to Keep Her." I do not know if they have a prenup. I don't think so. But when you're involved in a marriage and you gather assets together, and by them being multi millionaires, billionaires, with all of their assets added up together, it's best to stay married on paper. Cheaper to keep her. All right. So if they did legally divorce, then Miss Jada will have to she gonna have to probably get a regular job or something. I don't know. But cheaper to keep her in this case. A lot of married couples live like this. A lot of married couples are married on paper. They live in separate residences. They uh sleep in separate beds, but they're married on paper because financially it benefits them both. If they decided to divorce, especially without a prenup, there's a lot of legal ramifications that you will have to go through. So it's better to just stay married on paper. And so, which leads us to this so called entanglement that she mentioned on Red Table Talk, that Will made her sit down and do because it was so embarrassing for that information to come out and for her to pretty much deny it. And he pretty much made her say, "Hey, you need to come on here because my family is being attacked. I'm being attacked. You need to come and sit down and let's work this thing out." So when they did the red table talk, Will interviewed Jada. She called it an entanglement. He said, "Nope, call it what it is. It was a relationship." All right. So basically, what happened with this August Alsina, I think that's his name. He was a friend of Jada and Will's son, Jaden. It was Jaden's friend who had a drinking and drug problem, which is something that Jaden also went through. Let me put my thing up by Fair Use Act. This is information that I received that I'm sharing. And I will say alleged. So Jaden had a problem that his mother was able to help him with. He said, and as told to me, that his mother got him the best doctors, the best therapy, the best rehab that helped him kick whatever drug he was on, whatever alcohol he was drinking. He was able to get beyond that. So his good friend August, he noticed had a problem also. He was like, "Jaden, I need some help. Can you help me?" Jaden said, "Hey, you know what? My mom was able to help me." So August actually ended up moving into the same home as Jaden, the family. I guess Will was in and out. Um, and so what happened is Jada developed a passion for August, maybe sharing there was something that she could relate to because she also had a drug and drinking problem when she was about his age and was able to get help with it. And so she offered to help him. Now, how they got into a sexual relationship is baffling to me. And if you to me, this is just my opinion, she's no different than coaches who date students at school. A person who has seniority over a person through age and through the ability to be able to influence their life. She's no different than them. And in my opinion, preyed upon a young man when he was most vulnerable, who was seeking help from her, started a sexual relationship with her son's friend. Now, can you imagine being Jaden and your mom having a sexual relationship with your friend? Do you understand how much chaos that would create? What about Willow? How did Willow feel about that? Or is that normal for them? I don't know. But I just thought that that was there's something wrong with this lady to do that. That is, to me, that is disgusting. You start dating your child's friend. Can you imagine Jaden and August hanging out one day and August getting mad with Jaden and start talking about what him and his mom did in the bedroom? Can you imagine that? Those kinds of problems do happen. So when that happened, Will had pretty much said, "Hey, I'm done with you, Jada." They were split up. They had been split up, but he wasn't communicating with her at all. And then after August Alsina asked Jada to make a decision, are you going to divorce this guy? Are you going to let him go? She said no. She couldn't make that decision. So August said, "Hey, I'm done." And so she was so hurt by that. And August actually went to Will Smith to talk to him about their relationship. So Will had pretty much said he was done with Jada. "I don't want anything else to do with you, lady. You are a touch cuckoo. Leave me alone." So she went and begged Will to talk. And they talked. And according to her at that Red Table Talk interview, they were able to work a lot of things out. And so then after the August Alsina, whatever that entanglement, that's what she called it. We'll call it a relationship. After that ended, then you started seeing more of her and Will Smith in the public together as a couple at these fancy events. So now we're gonna fast forward to um there was a birthday party that Will Smith planned for Jada, and Jada was so hurt by the fact that it wasn't what she wanted. It was what he wanted for her birthday. He went all out and invited people and this and that. And this really what snowballed into the actual split where she started dating August. Um, she was in a relationship with somebody and really didn't care who it hurt. But I think it was her 40th birthday party he planned, and she was so upset because he had spent all of this money and invited all these people, and she was in tears, and you know, um, it wasn't what she wanted; it was what he wanted, and she didn't want all of that stuff, and he did what he thought she wanted. So that was the "I'm done with you, Jada. You're dead to me" kind of attitude he had with her. And then after the August Alsina relationship, August broke it off with her. Um, then she's like, "Hey, I ain't got nobody. Let me go talk to Will, see if I can get back in. I got to pay these bills by myself. I'm out here by myself." Anyway, I'm just speculating about that. So anyway, read my notes here. So Jada did the red table talk, and also during COVID. Now, during COVID, there are a lot of people who were living apart, couples who were forced to come back together and live under one roof. And that was Will and Jada Smith. All of the traveling that they had been doing and all that stuff, they couldn't do it. They had to live under one roof with the kids and tough it out like all of us did. And a lot of relationships ended when everybody had to be locked down for COVID. A lot of famous people ended up divorcing because they couldn't stand living with the person that they had to live with during COVID. It's okay if, he's over there and I'm over here, or I'm over here and he's somewhere out of the country. But when you come back together under that one roof, it caused a lot of problems. And so then uh, Jada did the red table talk, and let's fast forward to 2023. Facebook said goodbye, red table talk. And so now she's like, well, let me go ahead and release this memoir and tell everybody business. Now, here's the part that I am just too sick of Jada Pinkett Smith. I didn't even want to talk about this, but everybody was talking about it. And I just had to get this out since everybody else is getting it out. I wrote some stuff on Facebook for Jada to please go sit her hips down somewhere. Like, we are really tired of you. Red table talk, every episode, y'all crying and therapizing everybody. And every time somebody says something good or profound, all of y'all at the table go, mm. So we are beyond that. We tired of dragging Will Smith. We tired of you. We tired of you telling everybody's business. And Jada Pinkett Smith, if that's your legal name, I don't know. Well, we know your first name, Jada. Come on now. Let's get back to reality and back to earth. Your book is called Worthy, and it's available. I saw it. It's available in all of the bookstores. I saw it online on Amazon for $22. I think it's $25 at Target. And it's also number one on Amazon for women's biographies. It's number one bestseller right now. So my question is, who's buying this book? Like, who really cares? Who is buying this book? Because I don't want to hear bald headed chronicles. I don't want to read about bald headed chronicles. I don't want to hear nothing about Tupac. That man is dead and gone. Let him rest in peace. And while she's out here telling everybody's business, she does not care about the ramifications of bringing those things up. Now, she said while Tupac was in jail, he asked her to marry him. Now, Jada, you know good and well when those men are locked up in jail and prison, they gonna say anything. As long as you keep writing letters, sending money, and visiting, they're going to say, "Will you marry me? I love you. Will you marry me?" Yes, they will. And then also, you have to think about the fact that Tupac was in love with and dating Quincy Jones's daughter. And so now that she's brought this up, how does that make her feel? That lady's probably married to somebody, has children, and here she brings Tupac up, talking about, well, Tupac asked me to marry him while he was in jail. Really? But you said that the two of you were just friends. Remember? And then what about Quincy Jones? Quincy Jones is like, hey, here she goes bringing this up. I'm 90 some years old. I got to relive this again. You got to, and then also, they just arrested somebody for Tupac's murder, which Jada had no influence over that. But still, just put that in that book. It's just everything is not meant to be told to everybody. How does that affect your children, Jada? Your mother, your husband, although you claim y'all split up and this and that, but I made a promise and I said I would not break that promise that we would work through anything. It's called your wedding vows. And that's a promise that you make to God. Anyway, then you have to think about August Alsina. You bring this up again. How does August's mom feel? Baldhead Chronicles, here she come again. Talking about my son. How does that affect August in his sobriety to bring up that painful past yet again? I'd rather Jada had written a book of poetry or anything. And quite frankly, nobody really cares anymore because you sat there at that red table with your daughter and your mother, Jada, and your mother, Gammy, talked about how she would watch Willow all the time while Jada was away working on the Matrix or TV show, whatever she was doing. She wasn't home with the kids. So the daughter, Willow, was with Gammy. And Gammy started telling about how Willow was acting out because her mom wasn't at home. She said Willow used to cut herself. So Jada sat up and said, what? I didn't know that. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sure you knew that something was going on with your daughter. Something was unusual. You guys push your children out onto the world's stage. And it is no way on this earth that your children are not going to be affected by what's going on in your relationship at home or lack thereof. And then also being children out here around grown people on tour, in hotels, doing all manner of things, and you're not present because you working on other stuff. Now she did say that when Jade did that karate movie, I can't remember the name of that movie, but it was pretty good. She said she was there every day. Jaden said he didn't want to do it because it was so painful. Will Smith said sometimes he had to hold Jada back from going off on the directors and whatnot because Jaden would be crying because some of those splits and rehearsals and stuff was so painful to his little body. And Will was like, just let him go through it, let him go through it, he'll be fine. Jaden and Will Smith also made a movie together that was pretty good. But to bring up the painful past of what has happened without a care in the world about how it affects other people, I don't think that's right. And quite frankly, on behalf of American people, we tired of you, Jada. Let me just say, please go sit down, learn how to knit, work at a homeless shelter. You got plenty of homeless people out there in California that you can help. Do something other than trying to therapize us. And by that, I mean everything doesn't need therapy. Some things do, but some things you just have to figure out how to work through it and keep moving. You don't have to cry about everything. You don't have to, well, how does that make you feel? Well, how do you think that made you feel? And all of this, just move on to something else. We have gotten beyond the slap around the world. Uh, when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock into the middle of the next month, we've gotten beyond that, and we forgave Will. We moved on to something else, and then she's saying people were blaming her for the slap, and she was like, "Well, I created the false narrative by making people think that we were together." Really? You don't say. So I think this lady is a touch cuckoo. That's my opinion. I think that her effort to um correct people, her effort to fix everything, and at the end of the day, this is entertainment. Her effort to make $1, what she's willing to do to make $1 is frightening to me. Ain't no way on God's earth. And a lot of people have been asking me to write a book about my life. Write a memoir, write this, write that. Look, people need to know about you. And I have these history books that I've written called Rivera Beach Moments. And people say, "Well, how come you didn't put yourself in there?" And I say, "Well, I'm still on my journey." Like a lot of people are, but I don't want to put myself in there. My little bio is on the back of every book. But no, I am not ever writing a book about my family ever. So, and just like it's none of y'all business about my life, it's none of my business about Jada's life, but Jada is putting it out there. And it's just not okay to like put your whole family out there like that. And quite frankly, I don't think that many people care. I don't care what date Jaden was conceived and then they drunk tequila in Mexico or wherever they were. I could care less. I don't care. What I care about is Jaden okay? I went on the Red Table Talks Facebook page and I just scrolled down looking and I saw where she got the first copies of the book with her whole family there. And I swear, Jaden had on a garbage bag. He was standing there with a garbage bag with a hoodie on it. And all of them like, "Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, this is awesome." Yeah, till you get into the pages and see what a lady wrote. I ain't just, no. These people, yeah, man. Sometimes some couples are better apart than to be together raising hell. And you know good well, Jada, you're not gonna divorce Will because if you do, it's goodbye paycheck, it's goodbye relevancy, right? So those are my opinions. I just think that some things are better left unsaid or keep it in your roof, keep it under your roof. We could care less about you getting on TMZ, the Today Show, all of these networks. And honestly, like I said, I think I said it, but if I didn't, I say it again. I think it's these publicists and news outlets that are buying that book to go through it so that they can, because everybody's talking about it, so that they can have her come on the show and talk about their book. And I'm like, and most people that I know personally have said they will not buy it. I'm not buying it. I'm not reading the free on Amazon they say free pages see inside. I'm not even clicking on that. I'm not really interested. I want them to be at peace and keep their family together, have a peaceful household, and worry less about money and more about their sanity. And a lot of these people, they don't even worry about their soul. Like seriously, I saw a part of a sermon and he said, "Some of you going to hell." He said a particular word that I'm not gonna say, but he says, "Some of y'all are going to hell." And it was funny the way that he said it, but it was so serious. Like at the end of the day, what is your goal? What is your you know, what can you be proud of that you're gonna leave? What is your legacy? Is your legacy is Tupac asked me to marry him? Is your legacy throwing your husband up under the bus and making him look like an even bigger sucker? Because he looked like a real sucker sitting there at Red Table Talk with his eyes all red, talking about uh, uh, my wife was in a relationship with this guy 20 years younger than him. Like it's just a sickness. I think that people who are wealthy are allowed to get away with without any accountability. We were in an entanglement. No, you was messing around with your son friend. And I know somebody who did that before. And oh my goodness, that was over 20 years ago. I know someone whose friend, who he called best friend, found out was sleeping with his mother. And some of y'all get down like that. That is just really disgusting. It's somebody who's 20, 30 years younger than you messing around with your, and some of y'all messing around with y'all friend's son. Let's just keep it real. Just dirty, low down, dirty like that. That's so disgusting to me. I don't want nobody 30 years younger than me. There is nothing that I find attractive about them. But anyway, we don't get down like that around here. But Jada, there are some wounds that you have reopened that were almost closed. And I wish that you had whoever you talked to, because you ain't wrote nothing in this book. All you did was talk to somebody. They took the transcript, they turned it into a book to make it make sense. You added a bunch of your baby pictures. You called it worthy. So, and then the book cover is a bunch of look like broken pieces. And I had pictures. I forgot to upload the things. I ain't really care anyway. But it looked like a bunch of broken pieces or pieces to a puzzle that were put together. And I don't know why what makes her unworthy. Worthy of what? You're worthy of what? Answer that for me. Worthy of what? And so, as I come to a close on this subject, um, I just hope that some people will say no. But if the public wants to, oh, she also has an article in People Magazine. Anyway, money, Today's Show money, and they pay well. Today's Show and People Magazine pay well for exclusive interviews. I'm talking about upwards of $500,000, and I know she got some millions because 500,000, and she's a-list celebrity in Hollywood elite. She got paid very well, whether she sells a book or not. And basically, when you're doing book publishing, the publishing company has already paid her, and basically what she's doing is book tours to try to help them make their money back and make a profit. So she took the most shocking elements of her book to talk about it. Tupac, since he was relevant, since they just arrested somebody for his murder, and the Chris Rock slap thing, and he asked me on a date. So what were y'all talking about behind Will's back? What was y'all sneaking off to? And he could get in your face flapping his gums and you flapping yours back where he would ask you out. His friend, right? And y'all remember during Chris Rock's during Will Smith's 50th birthday celebration, one of the things that he did was he did a stand-up comedy set in New York. So don't tell me that wasn't some get back at Chris Rock. And he probably had a bigger audience than Chris Rock. I don't know. And it wasn't bad. But anyway, that's my spill on that. I did have some things to talk about. I'm not even going to talk about any events or anything. I'm going to do another broadcast for that. Thank you for letting me get all of that out. I would appreciate it if you guys would leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you want to, I'm going to upload this video to YouTube. So make sure you check out my YouTube channel. Look for me, Deborah Hall 4816 on YouTube. And then also I'm on Instagram at Deborah Hall and Twitter for the South Florida Gospel News at Gospel FL. So I think I have talked enough about Bald Headed Chronicles. And now you know us bald head people, we could care less about what anybody think. We just like alley cats. Wherever it goes down, it goes down. We don't care. We're just gonna put it out there and dare you to say or do something about it, right? Ain't got no hair. Why would we care? I'm just kidding. And as always, I appreciate everyone's support. Thank you for making the South Florida Gospel News number one. As you know, we are the 2023 Tampa Bay Gospel Award Media Publishing of the Year. And if you haven't seen the fall issue of the South Florida Gospel News, it is out. Just Google South Florida Gospel News and you'll find us. It's a digital magazine. This is the cover of the fall issue. We also have a spring issue. So spring, summer, and fall is out. You can Google it, take a look at it. I appreciate everyone's help and support as always. So that's all I have for today. Don't forget to leave your comments below because I would really love to chop it up with you and see what y'all think about this Jada Pinkett Smith. I Lord, I am so sick of that woman. I don't wish any ill towards her, but I wish she would just go sit down and with a lot of people like really think about the ramifications of what happens to the people around you when you put stuff out and it doesn't just affect you, it affects your family, it affects your children. In your effort to go viral, how does it affect your family? Just like that old lie, Carly Russell, that they just found guilty, talking about she seen a baby on the side of the road and she was kidnapped by a big fat bald headed white man with orange hair. She was lying. So they found her guilty, and the judge is recommending, I believe, a year jail time for her. So just got to think about how it affects you, how mom and dad feel. Don't nobody trust them because they rely for her anyway. But just think about the people that work with her, how the CIA was probably going through all of their stuff and their family stuff and her neighbors and asking them questions and this and that. You just have to think about it. Like my mom would say, think before you speak and look before you leap. And with that, y'all, that's all I have for today. Please continue to watch my videos. Watch this one, rewind it, watch it again, and by all means, tell a friend. Until next time, y'all, I'll talk with y'all later. Okay, bye.